So I've had my Maingear MG-1 Platinum for 2 months now. So I thought in this video I'd make an overview on the computer purchase as a whole, as well as talk about my overall experience with the machine. I'm also going to go over my thought process when I was thinking about buying a new computer, and also talk a bit about why I specifically chose to buy Maingear. Now this is going to be more of an overview rather than an in-depth technical review with gaming benchmarks. So this was my first time buying a pre-built desktop, and it's also my first gaming desktop. When I was young, I used to have an old desktop up until 2012, and that was when I made the switch over to gaming laptops. I've been using gaming laptops ever since until now. Since I've been done with school for quite some time now, I don't really need this setup anymore, and ever since I purchased a MacBook for my portable needs, then I sold my Asus Zephyrus to buy a dedicated gaming desktop. So next I want to talk about why did I choose a pre-built desktop and not custom build one myself. Well, when I did my research, the Maingear tax isn't that much more than building my own, and I also get something that's fully assembled and ready to go. Maingear will build my computer better than I can. I know that for a fact. Now I generally know how to build a PC and put it together, but I don't really know how to build a proper gaming desktop with good cable management and all of that. And last but most importantly, I honestly just don't really care at this point. I know for gamers and computer enthusiasts, they usually try to build their own computer because it provides the best value and you're kind of in charge of everything, which I get. When I was younger and I was much deeper into gaming than I am now, I always dreamt of building my own crazy computer rig. Now that I'm older, I just want to buy something assembled, plug it in, and start using it right away. I also don't really feel like spending the time to source all of the different parts and spend the time to build it, which I suppose is also why I stuck with gaming laptops for so long. Whenever I buy a laptop, I just plug it in and it works. And whenever I feel the need to upgrade, which is usually every 3 years or so, I would sell that laptop entirely and just buy a new one. But of course, now with a gaming desktop, that would be different since I would actually be upgrading the individual parts for my computer. So the last thing that went into my purchase decision was, why did I choose Maingear? Now I've done a lot of research into different pre-builds ranging from Alienware, Acer, Lenovo, MSI, you name it. I ultimately went with Maingear because, quite simply, the general consensus seems to be that they know their stuff and they build their stuff well. I was also looking into Alienware pre-builds, but I didn't like that they use OEM parts. I was also looking into other cheaper options such as iBuyPower and CyberPower PC because they generally provide the best specs for the money, but some things are kinda just lacking compared to the premium brands. In fact, my brother has his CyberPower PC for 2 years already, and it's generally been good and never had any major issues, but his top grill came ripped, the GPU doesn't have any support, so it clearly sags, and it's also not properly cooled. There's not enough airflow or fans in his system, so he had to purchase additional fans, and even with the fans, it still gets really hot, which is why for the past 2 years, he's been running the PC without the side glass panel. So now that I've gone over why I purchased it, let's get to the actual computer itself. Now, it arrived super quick, like within a few days after shipping. It came very well packaged, and you can check out my unboxing video if you'd like to see. It basically arrived without any noticeable shipping damage. I did find a slight dent, however, under the side glass panel, which I don't believe is from shipping since the glass panel itself that sits on top is not dented, so this was most likely already dented at the Maingear warehouse, but they just decided to use it anyway. I will say it's not really a big deal to me though, since the glass panel sits on top, so it's not seen. So after removing the foam and everything, all I did was just plug it in and started using it. That is what I wanted from a pre-built machine. I also have to give big praise to Maingear here, since their computers don't come with any kind of bloatware. Every single gaming machine I've purchased in the past from the likes of Alienware, Acer, Asus, MSI, they have all come with some kind of bloatware. Next thing I want to mention is that the RGB remote doesn't seem to do anything on my PC. I've tried using it a lot of different times, but the only thing I can really do with it is to turn off the lights. In order to properly customize everything, I need to use the MSI Mystic Light software. Now through this software, I can change and customize all the lights, as well as the T-Force RAM sticks. Even though the rainbow RGB was really cool at first, eventually I just kind of found it kind of too flashy, and I changed everything to a solid teal blue color, which I think suits the case design very well. In terms of how this thing runs, this computer runs all my games and day-to-day operations without any issues whatsoever. Almost all my games are running smooth as butter. On basically every game I've tried, I've been playing at 1440p at either maxed out or high settings. And with that, it's been running great without any performance or cooling issues. As a person coming from gaming laptops, it's a much bigger jump in performance than I was expecting. I also don't have to listen to that constant loud fan noise that comes from gaming laptops, so that's a huge plus. Now the computer has been very quiet overall, and it has stayed within very safe temperatures. The CPU generally hovers around mid-60s, and the GPU is the one that's usually in the low 70s. Some games I have tried are Witcher 3, Minecraft with shaders, Cyberpunk 2077, and even some VR games like Assetto Corsa and Half-Life Alyx. Everything runs super well, and even playing Assetto Corsa in VR with maxed out settings, with custom shader patch running, the VR gameplay was flawless. Now with everything I mentioned, this would pretty much be a flawless machine if it wasn't for my one and only problem with the computer so far, which is a super loud, ringing coil whine coming from either the GPU or the power supply. Coil whine is very common in high-performance desktop parts, so it's not really surprising to hear, but the coil whine coming from my machine is a super loud ringing noise compared to the usual static noises that I've seen on YouTube. Now I'm not putting this problem on Maingear though, since this is just kind of how the hardware components are and how it is in my specific machine. Coil whine can literally affect any machine and at varying levels depending what kind of components you have. Sometimes with a bit of luck, coil whine can even go away on its own once the computer breaks in, if you want to put it that way. In fact, I first discovered the coil whine while playing Witcher 3 and Minecraft with the shader mods, and it used to be super loud in those games. Eventually, the coil whine just died down and it doesn't really do it anymore on those games. Currently, the one and only game I still hear the coil whine is while playing Cyberpunk 2077, so I'm hoping that over time it will eventually stop on that game as well, but only time will tell. Now, even though the ringing can be quite annoying, it's not really a deal breaker for me since I usually play games wearing headphones anyway, and I'm pretty sure a lot of gamers out there usually wear headphones as well. Besides that problem, overall, I have been very pleased with the MG1, and I can highly recommend it. I don't have any problems with performance or cooling, and it runs everything I throw at it with ease. Since I also have Maingear's excellent support and a 2-year warranty on the system as well as its parts, it's pretty much a worry-free experience for me. So that's pretty much it, guys. I hope this video gave you some info on what it was like buying and using the Maingear MG-1 Platinum. The whole reasoning behind the backstory and decision making was to give you my thought process and reasoning on why I decided to make this purchase. So maybe if you're in a similar situation, this might help you make a purchase decision as well. So that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you guys have any questions, you can leave it down in the comments and I will get back to you guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.